Hello and welcome to the Juggling Podcast. My name is Luke Burridge and it's the Juggling Podcast. Joining me like always is Juliana.
Hello everyone.
And it is August.
It is. It's the end of August.
It is very end of August. This might come out in September, but either way, this is the August podcast for our Patreon supporters.
Yes.
And I would like to say thank you to all our Patreon supporters. I hope you enjoy these podcasts. I'm very sorry that there wasn't one last month, which was July. So in other words, it's been quite a long time since we did the last podcast. When would it have been? It would have been, I don't know, June sometimes, or maybe May. I'm not sure. Either way, we've missed a few. And the reason is we've been very busy.
Oh, yeah.
And so what we want to do is we want to talk about what we've done over the summer since the last podcast, the projects that we've been working on, trip to the EJC, some gigs, and and also thanks for being patient with us while we are catching COVID and doing emergency trips and not emergency trips and gigs or whatever. So big thank you to the Patreon supporters. Should we do this?
Absolutely, thank you.
We also name all our Patreon supporters as we thank them. So anyone who gives us more than €1 a month gets a shout out right now here at the start of the podcast. So thank you very much to Marshall and Sid and Bethany and Callie and Chris. Thank you very much to Danny and Flo and Hendrik and Joel, Matt, David, who is a new Patreon supporter, thank you very much. Jeremy, who's got a new painting out, which I liked, but I'm not going to buy it. Juliana, hey, you're still supporting me, Juliana. Thank you very much. We've got Kathy, Keith, Mark, Mikael, Rafa, Statist27, another Mark, this one more mysterious than Mark O'Neill, and then Amy, and Bo, and other people who are giving us $1 or €1 or $1 New Zealand dollar or $1 Canadian dollar or $1 Singaporean dollar or whatever it is, whatever the level is.
One entity of money.
Yes, and also thank you very much to about 50 free members who, again, don't get anything more or less than the paid members, except we don't read out their names and they don't get our full thanks. But full thank you to everyone who's supporting us financially. This really does make a big difference.
Yes.
And not just a big difference financially, but also encouragement-wise, motivation-wise.
Yeah.
It really, and also making us feel valued and part of a community. So
absolutely.
Thank you so much.
And we do sit down from time to time to record the podcast.
Yes, we do. I've got so many projects. Like, how many video projects have I got ready to go? So I've got loads of things. I've got like the emoji video that I want to make, the big tricks video that I want to make. I've got like more numbers juggling videos that I want to make. Combat video.
Emoji video.
Emoji. Look.
So many things. Oh my God.
I just want to say
even know
that
about.
if you look through the list of different juggling emojis, there's content there. Anyway, I know that it will be a fun video.
Okay.
But it would take literally 3 days of work to get ready for it and then record it and stuff like that, and just 3 days in a row where I have the energy to work on a project which isn't Fight Night Combat or Your Time to Shine or the EJC or like my real job or your real job or whatever. I'm not saying I'm working on it, but just stuff. So what I worked on is the big project that I worked on, which meant that the podcast wasn't really happening in June and July, was I was working a lot on this project called Your Time to Shine.
Yes.
And we kind of mentioned it maybe on the podcast, but we were talking about like what it is.
So, yeah.
So as you realize, you and Juliana, and also the listeners will realize that these podcasts, we're talking about things which will or won't become long-term projects or future projects. You know, like I was talking about numbers juggling, and then I was talking about social media, content programs with regular videos and long-running updates that people can follow along with, and that became the Flash 30 project.
Yes.
Talking about new shows that I'm working on, or new inventions and other things like that. Getting a 3D printer, what's that going to lead to? It's going to lead to lots of new inventions and
new
bits
props.
and pieces. Yeah, new props, refreshing old props. I talk about what it's like to do a show with too many things in it, then over the later months, I can kind of check in with it. So last year, we, as a request by one of our Patreon supporters, was juggling for money. Or Tricks for Money or Tricks for Cash. I can't remember what the name of the episode was, but we talked through a lot of the different ways that you could encourage people to create new things or take on new challenges or work on new things, and then reward them with money or cash or whatever. This has had a few different ramifications in the world in terms of prize money being available in places, which is good. But in one case, our same Patreon supporter also said, let's let's fund one of these things. Let's
Yes.
actually give this a go. You talk a good game, Luke and Juliana. Can you actually come up with a thing which is worth it, like for the juggling community to be part of?
Yes.
And Marshall came up with some ideas, and I was like, good. But now let's actually think about those ideas of, it's this kind of like game design, mechanism design. What incentives do you put in place that the incentives of the person who's running the competition and the incentives of the people taking part in the competition and the incentives of the people who want to watch the competition and the incentives of the people who want to vote in the competition, all of the incentives have
Yes.
to be combined.
Yeah.
And if you do a good job in that, hopefully people enjoy taking part. And people are rewarded for taking part. And people enjoy watching other people take part.
Yes. Yes.
These questions are always at the core of when I'm coming up with a competition idea. A fight night event or your time to shine, or in this case, or the British Young Juggler of the Year, or
Yeah.
you're running games at a juggling convention, or the top 40 jugglers, I guess, is like the main kind of thing.
Yes.
It's always make the incentives of everyone who's involved align, that everybody gets out what the good thing that
Yes.
they want.
Yes. And it's good for an audience, good
Yeah.
for the people in the competition. And in the best case scenario, they just want to do it.
Yes. So this was all these different kind of things that we're talking about on that podcast.
Yeah.
When we've talked about combat, we've talked about the top 40 jugglers. I've mentioned this a lot of times, but it is like a core principle to making successful outcomes with new projects this way. And yes, so in this case, we came up with Your Time to Shine. It wasn't called that. It was called, it didn't really have a name. It just had a working title of, well, the basic idea was, what are the most expensive props that people would want to buy, but if they can't afford to buy it, but they would need it. And in the end, we came up with like a set of 3 programmable glow clubs.
Yeah, that's a good price.
Yeah, it's a fun prize. It's a good. I would like that prize.
Yeah.
I didn't get to enter the prize, but I would love the prize. But the idea being that this is just it's the possibility of getting that is just sort of like the nudge that people want, or the nudge that people needed to. I'm working on a club routine anyway. Let's video it and submit it.
Yes.
So,
or even I had the idea of a glow club idea, like glow club act idea, and there was no way for me to even have the possibility to access it, so I put it aside, and this gave people definitely the motivation to finally come up with the act and then present it.
Yes. Or just inspire people, like, you're already good at juggling, you already got an act, and so that was the thing. So the idea being that, yes, again, people have been following along with this, they've seen the announcements, they've been following along on Instagram or whatever. So that's what we did. Someone came up with a really good name for the competition.
Yeah, guess who?
It was you. You can claim credit. You can say some stuff.
Yes, I came up with it, and I thought it's a bit too kitschy. It's a bit too on the nose.
Here's the thing. I think it's great because it works as Your Time to Shine. Like, people already know. It's not tied to any specific prop. Because this could be called... I don't know, we could name it after somebody or something like that. It could be called named for somebody, but if they're a club juggler, then the club jugglers care about that, but then and
this way you can take whatever prop that is a glow thing, and of course you could call it something with glowing, but then it's already some
shine is right there. It's like Your Time to Shine. So the idea that we can start off with glow props. So we did a club juggling one just because we already know there's lots of club jugglers have got lots of tricks, tricks make a good routine. There's creative people, so club juggling was like the easy way in.
Yes.
So we ran it, and we got let's have a look here. We got 29 people enter the competition.
Nice.
So yes, just to be really clear about the judging criteria that we had, because we had these 3 different judging criteria.
Yeah.
But the first judging criteria is, can you follow the instructions
on
the video?
There were some instructions for the format.
For the format. And it has to be like a work in progress. It has to be a video. It had to be, you had to film it specifically for the competition.
Yes.
And it had to be with 3 clubs, and it had to have at least 2 minutes worth of club juggling in there.
Yeah.
Some people submitted 3 videos separate, not all recorded in one shot. So it turns out of the 29 people who submitted a video, was it 17? I think actually had
then the names that we
were the ones that you did. And some people submitted a really great act, but there just wasn't any club juggling in it. Some people just submitted a previous act that they'd already performed, which would have been fine if they'd have refilmed it, not in front of an audience. But the whole point was that, this is not for works that have been performed, or if they have been performed, we want to see, what the next step is. So, and other people just didn't work out, again, I'm not going to bag on anyone for not getting the instructions right, but the people who put in the effort to record the thing that they wanted and do the submission,
they fulfilled the criteria.
They got 17 of them.
Yes.
And then that first cutoff was me. That was my cutoff of like, if you follow the instructions, you get to take part.
Yeah.
So of the people who took part, I watched all the way through all of the videos and read through all of the stuff, all the descriptions of what they want to do with the clubs, the glow clubs, and I made my notes, and then we shared that. Then you watched them through as well, and I sat next to you and you made notes.
Yeah, and you were kind of an observer of me as well.
Yes, I then watched Juliana making notes and judging them.
Yes.
And Juliana made a list of sort of like 7 or 8 who you thought were really good.
Yes.
And the overlap between Juliana's and mine was like, like a 90%, 80% overlap.
Yeah.
Of those, like I picked out like 7 or 8 that I really liked. You picked out 7, 10 that you really liked. I had one that you hadn't put on your list, and you had one that I hadn't put on your list there. So we used that as a basis of a short list, and then we got 2 other people to help with the judging to get that short list down to like the final set of the
finalists.
Yeah, the final finalists.
Yes.
And it was again, I don't remember what your exact what you had there as well, but there was pretty much,
I think I had 6 in the end then.
We got it down to 7 videos.
Yes.
And I'm saying, but we had to get top 3.
Yes.
And me and Bo and Marshall, who was funding the competition, all had the same top 3 in the same categories.
Yeah.
And you had, I think, 2 out of the 3 as well that you were wanting there as well. I can't remember, but it was like it was very close.
The overlap was is surprising
good, which made it much happier about this to then start. Once we'd worked out those judging and start announcing the winners. And so what we did is with this competition we got 17 new videos of juggling acts.
Yep.
Hopefully those, even people who didn't win, will go on, use that as an inspiration to work on a new routine or a new act or something. Yeah. Hopefully we'll see some stuff. And then 3 of the jugglers got a set of 3 glow clubs.
Yes.
Matty got his at the EJC.
Yeah, I met him literally in the traders area.
I have a video. I still got to put that video out on my Instagram and things like that. But again, I'm a bit behind in these projects.
Yes.
So Matty got his clubs. Daniela, who is the overall winner, has ordered the club. Anyway, I need to work out what I think she ordered a set at the EJC.
Yeah.
And then Jerry, who was the winner of the kind of most creative idea, or like most, I don't know, crazy idea, artistic idea. I'm not really sure.
Most glow club inspiring.
Yeah, like the most specifically, this is about glow clubs idea.
Yeah.
We met him at the EJC, and then he tested out different clubs, but I didn't keep up to date with which one he's going to settle with, because he thought he wanted the Flow Toy ones.
Yeah.
The Flow Toys ones, and then he's like, oh no, but maybe these other clubs. And that's another thing that I'm really happy about, that this isn't sponsored by any equipment manufacturer.
Yes.
It isn't a Light Toys or an Ignis Pixel or a Flow Toys.
And you just get what you get.
Yeah, you don't just get what you get.
Yeah.
You can choose, and it was really handy to get in contact with the I mean, there were some of them were at the EJC.
Yes.
So when Matty wanted a set of clubs, they were like, yeah, we already know. We already have we're already happy with this. This is already paid for, or it can already be paid for. This will already be paid for. So it was a great thing. And then lots of people at the EJC who took part told me, it was really inspiring to have this like little challenge. Again, the people who won were most happy about taking part.
Obviously.
But yeah, lots of people took part. So I don't know really how to determine how much of a success it was, except for we ran it. Mm-hmm. It was I enjoyed running it.
Yeah.
It was a lot of work to run, and I'd love to have done this podcast 2 months ago once we'd have made those things. But I was like, no, let's wait until after the EJC, until we've met the people who were taking part and can do it,
Yes.
So...
and it was fun to actually see them and to literally give the clubs to Matty there. And
I just want to say, though, a few little things about other people at the EJC.
Yes.
It was fun to meet, to see in the WJF club freestyle competition, which was pretty much just Battle Night, but like with the label ripped off Battle Night. The Mexicans weren't organizing it; it was just taken over by Jason Garfield and the WJF guys. And then apparently, what happened is that they didn't really know who to invite, so they asked, I think, one of the jugglers to. Again, I don't want to say all the names because I don't know who wants to take credit or not credit for any of this. But they're like, "Can you make a list?" So they picked out a list of 8 jugglers, and then they said, "We could try and all be doing WJF, triple pirouettes and stuff, but we should just do it like Battle Night."
Yeah,
so in the end, it was like, oh yeah, it is just Battle Night. It's like not the same format, but
and
a similar format.
And it was a bunch of friends, and in the end, there was a prize.
No, but here's the thing. The 2 people in the final, who was it?
Matty.
It was actually, it was Matty and Valentin.
Valentin.
And who were the 2 final finalists, or when we actually came down to it, who were the finalists of the Your Time to Shine best juggling, like most difficult juggling routine?
Those 2.
It was those 2.
Yes.
And then when Matty actually was doing it, you're like, oh, right, yes, no, this is really clear. So this is 2 competitions back to back, that the final 2 finalists, of course, Flo was in there as well in terms of consideration of the top, the top routine.
Yes.
But really it came down to, with all the judges, when we actually ranked them, we're like, Valentin and Matty, very difficult to take it, but then in the end we all decided that Matty was just ahead of Valentin, even though they were both really close.
Yes.
But it was fun to see them both in the WGF competition, and then Matty did those same tricks and won the competition.
Yes.
And I was like, all right, okay, so
that
that's quite funny.
Really showed that we did make the right choice here.
It's the year of Matty.
Absolutely.
It's the summer of Matty club juggling, winning club juggling competitions.
Yeah, absolutely.
So anyway, what were you going to say there, or did you have what else? Or are you just saying it was fun to meet
I was
people?
just saying that in that competition there was a prize at the end, but people didn't do it because there was the money. That was just a side thing.
No, I totally get it.
And so
what, in the WJF competition? Yeah.
In the 3 club freestyle.
Well, I heard that they just split they just split all the money 8 ways anyway. I think they'd already agreed. Again, I don't know if that actually happened, but they did the same kind of thing. It's not for the money.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so weird for the prize money to be announced in dollars, like $300. I was like, you're literally in the Netherlands at the European Juggling Convention. At least just pretend that it's $300. It's €300, even if it's actually $300. Just put euros on there. Just make us feel better.
Yes.
Either way, I don't want to start reviewing the WGF at this part of the
but it was
podcast.
fun to see them on stage and the crowds cheering them on. And
it was a fun event.
Of showed that we made
we didn't stick around for the rest of the WGF competition. We mostly were there to hang out and watch our friends do the club juggling stuff.
Yeah.
I say our friends, none of the finalists were finalists because they were our friends. It's just, when I say our friends, I'm just saying the community, supporting the community is what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
I
was that project.
Got some really good feedback from it. There was 2 negative comments that I got on that, and a few things that people just didn't understand what was going on.
Okay.
I think it was more of a misunderstanding. One person really doubled down, and then I was like, I'll just block you. You're blocked on Instagram or whatever. You don't have to be unkind about it.
No.
So that I ran a whole project like this and only blocked one person on Instagram because of the negativity.
Yeah.
I think it was pretty good.
I was very impressed by the variety of what people came up with. I thought, it's just going to be 3 club stuff, and then it's going to be
really
end up all the same. And I was really impressed by the different approaches.
And finally, I did say, someone said, hey, can you give me some feedback on this routine? Because no matter what, I want to actually perform it.
Yeah.
And 3 people asked me for specific feedback.
Yeah.
And I haven't got round to it, but I will get round to it at some
I gave
point.
some feedback to one person.
Who was that?
To Bass.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, what did you say? Or do you not want to?
Literally just the thing that I wrote down here anyway. So, but it was really fun to meet these people and then actually talk about the acts and what they did, and it was fun.
Yeah. I met Joris and Baz and I don't know, I can't remember. I met lots of people who had taken part, which was good fun. All right, so that's that. Oh yeah, and just for the future of that, maybe in nearer the end of the year. I say near the end of the year. It's September tomorrow, so we're already there. We will run it again. We'll pick a different prop. I've always been saying hoop juggling, but I think I might want to go in a different direction. But we'll discuss this, with the idea being that the next competition, we've done juggling act creation.
Yeah.
So, this is the aligning incentives. My incentive is I want more people to work on long-form juggling content, which isn't just here is a 10-second Instagram clip.
Yes.
So in this, for the club juggling, it was here is a full routine. It has to last over 2 minutes. What I'd like to do is to be based on a bit more like a video. So it doesn't have to be a single take. Show us what you've got.
Yeah.
Show us what juggling you've got and ideas. And I think it might be fun to do something with bounce juggling or ball juggling, because I just don't think there's enough good ball juggling videos. Johnny Moore released his, drip video or whatever it was called.
Yeah, very good.
And I was like, if I can encourage people to make that, and then I don't know what the prize would be, but like something that's really valuable. And also people know that they're making something which isn't just going to be another, it's not going to be an IGA Tricks in the Month where there's no quality control and it's just, whichever.
It just disappears in the masses.
Yeah, and it just disappears in the masses. No, it's sort of like a bit more focused where people are actually trying to do a cool thing. So it could be, I'm not quite sure what it'd be. I'm thinking like 3 ball juggling, so like make it as expressive as possible. Another idea is bounce juggling, the most creative bounces. So I want to see like crazy Rube Goldberg machine bounce things, or maybe, I don't know, something.
We don't know yet,
something.
But we're going to announce it. In different places.
Yeah, well, we'll announce it. So again, it could be hoop juggling, could be bounce juggling, could be foot juggling, it could be all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
But if anyone's got any ideas, especially if you want to take part, like, I really want you to buy me a V bounce table, or a bounce table that I can take around, like that's portable, that you can get them made by, these different companies.
Yes. What's this? The antipodal?
Antipodism? Where you, you can. Yeah, there's the Circus for You. The guys in Ukraine, in Kiev, have a whole studio where they build those kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Have worldwide
Pretty
shipping.
cool.
That might be a fun thing.
Yeah.
Like a foot juggling competition, and the prize is you get a performance ready, pack small, transportable antipodism performance table.
Yeah.
And we'll get some foot jugglers in to help
like that.
To help with the judging.
I think that could be fun.
All right, so that's there you go. 20 minutes on Your Time to Shine.
Yep.
A little bit about the future. I'm very happy with it. And
there's going to be more.
Hopefully there will be more.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed organising it, but it did take a lot of time.
As always.
But the next time, it'll take less time, hopefully.
Yeah.
My next big project, which I don't need to go into that much, is that the Fight Night website was broken.
Oh, yes.
Really, really badly broken.
And you got lots of messages about it.
It's been broken for a long time, but it's been, in the end, I was like, well, I'll just pay money to upgrade the server so the server can still run this website that I built in literally 2012. So it's a 13-year-old website, and I wrote most of the scripts and the most of the structure and the database schema and all this other kind of stuff.
It was a project for you to learn it.
Yeah, it was a learning project. Literally, the folder that I have in this, here is called Tango with Django project. And the reason is because when I was learning Django, which is a Python-based web framework, I opened up a tutorial, and the tutorial was called Tango with Django. And as I was working through the tutorial of how to do it, I just worked on a project called Tango with Django. Yeah. That then became the Fight Night Combat, because I just used the same folder and it was the same bits and pieces. Yes. And so now on the side of my laptop for the last 13 years, I have Tango with Django project. Yep. So the tutorial project, that's what the basis of this website was. It was a tutorial project.
That is quite funny.
It is funny, but actually what I need.
And it broke.
It broke. And because, it's sort of like, it's Python 2.7 and Django whatever, like that. And there was just, I'm not a web hosting expert and not a website. So all I did was I just put off rewriting the website from scratch. Or the server version, like the online server version. All I did was just not rewrite it for the past 7 or 8 years since it's been breaking.
Yeah, you fix it up here and there.
I fixed it up there, here and there, and solved bugs and fixed bugs. But generally, the website itself, no new features for like 8 years,
Yeah.
has been broken in some ways for that whole time. And if anything else broke, I would just like edit it out of the website and just say, oh, that feature just doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
And all I had to do was wait until an entire new Nobel Prize winning level of technology was invented, which is, AI and vibe coding. So that was it. It just came down to just waiting long enough and then paying, Anthropic for Claude AI, scripting help. So thank you very much to our Patreon supporters. You literally paid for
a rewrite of
for the
the
rewrite
website.
that I could talk to a website and say, look, I've got all of this code here. Update this function. Still not finished, but what I needed to do was get the website back online, and I did. And then also, and this is the really key thing, because I suddenly had this, it was new, and when I wanted to implement any changes, I didn't have to dig through 13-year-old code that I wrote before I knew anything about website coding or database or whatever like that.
Thousands of lines of code.
8,000 lines of code to make this website work. So what I did is I had the AI help me rewrite all of this, because again, all the functionality was there, and so I made a whole new system of running a fight night tournament.
Especially an extreme version of it.
A very large one.
Yes.
And so, holy shit, was it much better running the EJC Fight Nights this year. I wasn't organizing the live show. I wasn't hosting it. I wasn't doing any organizing. I said I will help out with the qualifying, and we did help out with the qualifying. I helped out with the qualifying, but we had enough volunteers. Big thanks to Meryl and all of the whole group.
All the other people helping.
Yeah. And
running
Pauline
it.
and all these other people.
Yes.
Thank you so much for all the help. And also I was happy to help you, because it was meant to be me helping
This
them
way
rather
round.
than them helping.
Yeah.
But we made it work, and it worked better than it ever had done before. There was one mistake.
Yes.
One person, and it wasn't mistake in terms of process. We should have just gone through one set of papers just to check if anybody was out of order.
Yeah.
One person was out of order, and so Jayan managed to get through to the round of 32 and lose to Jochen Pfeiffer instead of Flo.
Yeah.
And it could have been Florian Lange getting through. And I did tell him, I was like, sorry about this.
Yes.
It's nothing personal. It's just it was just two bits of paper.
And it was a record numbers of jugglers.
So that's what I wanted to say.
taking
It was a
part.
good job that I rewrote the entire
Just at the right
website.
time.
Just
Yeah.
at the right time. Just in time for literally the largest Fight Night qualification session that had ever been run.
Yeah.
And it ran remarkably smoothly. Of course, it always takes a long time to get everyone set into groups, but it's like the fairest. I'm happy that it's the fairest way we can do it.
Yeah.
And we've built up this institutional knowledge of how it works.
Yes.
And that everybody is happy with it. And in the end, if you win all of your matches in your group, you probably don't have to beat Jasper in the first round.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I lost 2 of my matches in my group, and that meant I had to fight Jasper in the first round. Well, not in the first round, but in the round of 16. I was the first up on stage. Did pretty well. I was quite happy with how I played.
Yeah.
But otherwise, yes, I was happy to take part, and hopefully next year we can have a bigger team there that we can kind of share the responsibilities a bit more, and so the people who want to take part can take part and not also be 100% responsible for the running of it and everything like that. So in this case, Meryl was ultimately responsible for it, and she was like, no, I can't take part because there's too much work, I have to be responsible. And then we did convince her to take part because there were enough other people helping out with the groups.
Yes, and it is so, and I have been accompanying you with this Fight Night journey since basically it really started to be a project.
Yes.
And
it was since 2012. No, 2013.
2013. And I have seen you being the sole organizer of everything.
Yeah.
And taking part, and it almost destroying you at that one point.
Not destroying. It's just a lot of responsibility.
It is a lot, and you so much so that you at that point, like really, you almost broke down. So much was.
It's not that I've been in tears because the Fight Night was so stressful, but I was in tears when I realized I just didn't have to take part.
Yes, yeah, but that showed.
I had tears of relief about releasing myself from the stress of taking part and running a Fight Night.
How much it is. Yeah. So what I really like about this year's EJC Fight Night was to see all the years and years of developing, setting up what it is, how it goes, what is part of it, how it is run, all the different individual things, down to have a DJ, and now we even have not only a DJ but
a
soundscape person
guy,
as well. And like all these little details now has become so set in stone that people know, oh, this is what we need. We need these and these and these.
That's what culture is. That's the culture of the EJC now has Fight Night embedded into it.
And now also that you were able to kind of take yourself out of it so much is so good.
And here's the thing, Meryl and the whole team there, I'm not just saying Meryl, but also Wiebke for hosting it. I don't have to worry about that. They've now organised as many Fight Nights as I have, because they organise them at every small Dutch convention, every big Dutch convention, all the small German conventions, every Belgium convention. It's like it's all these same people involved in that.
They have so much experience with it now.
Yeah. My review of the Fight Night, really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun there.
Yeah.
I unfortunately, the video stream that I have was so bad quality, and also then the hard drive filled up, so they didn't have the whole thing on hard drive. So last time that the EJC was in the Netherlands, they were like, and here's all the video, and they just gave me a fully edited, like they had from there, and I just didn't get that this time, and I was kind of relying on that because you weren't filming.
Nope.
I was filming some clips, I wasn't filming the whole thing, but I was getting some Instagram clips, and I was really looking forward to then taking that footage and editing it down into a full thing, and because the video quality is so low, that has really sapped my motivation for sitting down and editing an hour and a half event down into a fun 10-minute highlights or 20-minute full story. And that's a real pity because I just want it to be good quality, and the video looked great. If it was good quality and the cutting was good, and they didn't have replays, but they were zooming in on the right stuff, and the vibes are good, the sound mixing was good, the video switching, everything was good, except that the quality, the picture quality is so low that it's kind of sapped my inspiration to actually make a video, like a final video out of it, final highlights video out of it. But the overall event, I really enjoyed. It was really fun.
Great.
I got knocked. I was literally the first person on stage. It was me and Jasper got on stage. He beat me 5-4. I thought, yep, great. I had match points against him.
Yeah.
And then I could just pretty much sit back, and you were sitting just behind me because I was on the front row.
It was the first time since literally like 2013 for me, that I actually just sat and watched.
You have literally been on stage videoing 11 EJC Fight Nights in a row.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Yes.
Because you missed.
Yeah, except the Azores.
The Azores, But then everything else, you've been on stage. So all but one EJC, you've been there doing the video stuff.
And if you're doing video, you're not watching.
Yeah, now you could just sit back and relax. And I could just sit back and relax. So I was like, because I don't need to worry about it. There was one moment that I helped out, which was when there was something that was like, did the club hit the floor or was it go for it? And then because I just videoed that point, I ran up on stage and said, look, here's the video replay. And like, great, that point is valid. And it was a really good point, and it was match point with, I think, Marcus versus Jochen that he got the club. Anyway, so that was fun. And I think at one point I said something, but either way, it was like literally did one or two things during the whole evening. Yeah. And lots of people were saying, hey, thanks so much for organising. I was like, no, not me this time. No. And then they were like, yeah, but you know what I mean. And I was like, yeah, I do know what you mean. And that's what, again, this is the fun thing, is that because it is that I didn't have to do all the work, but all the work was done anyway, and then people were still giving me credit. This is actually what I want to happen with other things at the EJC, and is now happening with the EJC. Yeah. Like, it's got it now. Diablo Battle is at the same status, or as high as, or higher status, it's later on in the week or whatever, as the Fight Night Combat. Yeah. And that hasn't always been the case, because the Fight Night Combat will be on the main stage or be in the main gym, and we'll have a whole gym for qualifying, and the Diablo Battle would be like a little bit off to the side or whatever. Yeah. But now Diablo Battle
started off as a small thing.
Yeah, now Diablo Battle is just as popular with the audience, is just as hype event. Yeah. I wish I'd have gone to see it, but I know you were ill or something, and we just... No, I think it started at midnight or whatever.
It starts really late.
Yeah, 11 p.m.
After a thing.
Yeah, we'd already done a thing, and then it started, and we were like, let's... But then I was like, I wish I'd have gone to see it, because I didn't see it last year either. Okay. Because, I'd been sitting in the gala show for the entire evening. Yeah.
Didn't want to sit in the tent.
And I just didn't want to go back to the gala show and sit there with lights in my eyes again. So this is what I want. And other people, if you're organising, or when people are organising stuff at the EJC, I think Fight Night is a good model, because people have said, this is where we are now, but in 5 to 10 years' time, we want it to be as big as Fight Night, be it a numbers league or a trick ladder competition or whatever they're called. These other things that people talk to me about, because again, people always, a lot of people ask me about things and feedback about things because I've organized stuff and come up with competitions and had success in these things. So people want my feedback about stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, maybe in Fight Night Combat started off in 2005 at the EJC. It wasn't really a main thing until like 2013, 2014.
Yeah.
That's when it started being scheduled in the main event space, or like it's like on the schedule rather than like whenever Luke and Bob organize it.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. It's inspiring to see other events
starting off.
Yeah, we're not starting off. Become as successful as Diablo Battle.
Starting off smaller and then getting its
building
way
up over time. And they have
into
good
the main
history.
program.
So people go, oh yeah, I remember. I was at the Diablo Battle in the Azores, and I saw 5 Diablos, started on stage. Or I was at the Diablo Battle here. Or I was at the Diablo Battle there. It's when you actually get into it, you get a deep history that people care about.
Yes.
That's the legacy as well of Fight Night, of doing well with Fight Night organizing.
Yeah.
Is making it into an event that people go, oh, I really wanted to see Jasper and Jochen in the final. And I was like, I know, I wanted to see Jasper and Jochen in the final too. Yeah. And they did play each other, and it was in the third place match. Yeah. Neither of them could give a shit about what happened. Jochen was messing around. Jasper wasn't paying attention. They were faffing around. Oh, that's the time, because they were messing up so much, and we had to stop the music at like midnight.
Oh, yeah.
And so I just went up to Jochen, and I was like, we got to be finished in 6 minutes' time. He's like, okay. Or he didn't say okay. He just turned around and won like the next 3 points without faffing around, without mess. I was like, yep, I got it. I think even the last point, Jasper like dropped in a silly way, and you'd be expect, oh, now Jochen's not going to take that point. And he's like, nope. He just took the point and was like, yay, I win. And they both got off stage.
Yes.
so yes, it is a disappointing that I didn't get my Jasper versus Jochen final.
Yeah, but the final itself was...
The final was so good.
So good.
I really love the style of Marcus and Killian. And together their style is really good too.
And oh my God, the atmosphere in that tent... Holy crap!
It's really good, isn't it?
It was so you could see all the people were so hyped and like it was so positive.
Yeah, like standing room only.
Yes,
as loud as it ever gets.
People were dancing and cheering, and it was people had like whole fan clubs who put up signs.
I really enjoy it.
It's
so much nicer just to see it. We're sitting in the audience rather than being in charge of it and trying to do commentary and trying to organize it and trying to judge and be like, if I give this point, what's the drama going to be? Or if I don't give this point, or people are going to boo and things like that. Yeah.
We had all the things that happened in the past.
So congrats to Killian. He is the best.
Yes.
It's weird when you see like his ELO rating and his ranking going up, and he won the European Masters last year.
Yes.
And you're like, is he really that good? It's like, no, he really is that good. No, he really is. He really is coming out on top here.
And I also want to really highlight the style of their combat playing is not very body focused in the sense of I'm going to use my body to
it's athletic rather than violent.
And it's so elegant, and I really enjoy watching it because it doesn't make me cringe or think like oh my God, somebody's gonna go to the A&E any second, and so really
we actually
good.
said you're not to go for clubs in each other. Because Meryl and Killian and other people have been discussing like a rule set, an updated rule set, which is actually now on the website. You can, if you just go to rules and resources on fightnightcombat.com, you can go out to the link to the current updated rule set, with the idea being that you're not allowed to just hit the clubs in somebody's hands. You have to you're allowed to attack a club if it's being thrown, if it's in the air, or if it's being caught. You can't attack it in somebody else's hand. And within the first 3 points of Jasper, he had smacked both of my thumbs hard. One of them I don't mind, because one of them, you go for it, I put my hand up to block. That's on me. But the other, I never block with my right hand. I play left-hand blocking with combat. I know that if I get hit on my right hand, it wasn't me.
Somebody hits it.
And oh my goodness.
You still have a scar.
The scar is there. That's the scar from Jasper hitting me. I can still feel it. If I go like this, again, not like really feel it, if you know what I mean, but I can feel that
you can still
it
see
was
it.
there. So that was a bit unfortunate. But, in the end, he beat me not because of that.
Yes.
He beat me... But then I forgot that if I got hit, I shouldn't talk to him about it. I should talk to the desk
Yes.
about it. So they get up to there, and I forgot. Either way, it was loud in there.
I think
couldn't hear
the
anything.
timing when they announced the new rules was too short notice.
Yeah, but it's difficult. Again, that's part of the culture of it.
Yes, that takes
it
time
used to be
implement.
that between points, everybody would faff around it and take ages, and people wouldn't get on with it.
Yeah.
And what we did is for like a year, we had a timer with a basketball shot clock on the front, which was like 14 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like we finish it, and someone presses the button, and it counts down, and we needed to do that for 1 year until everyone who was playing got the message that between the points, we don't fuck around, we don't wait for the host to tell jokes. Bob gets off the middle of the stage and goes up. We sit. The host is away from them. They can sit at a desk rather than being in the middle and getting in the way.
Yeah.
The competitors don't need to wait for the person to say fight. They just get on with it.
Yeah.
And it took literally 1 year for that to change.
Yeah.
Where the culture was.
It will establish.
The culture wasn't mess around in between points and try and be entertaining. It was get on with it because we want this to be finished up within an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So yeah, good stuff. So future of Fight Night. We need to organize the end of year finals. Maybe here in Wildau, maybe in Berlin, maybe at Catapult, maybe at Catacomben, maybe not in Berlin, which would be really handy. But I have to put out feelers to see if somebody else wants to host it. But that is the plan for the end of this year.
Yes.
Or if we don't do it at the end of this year, we can do it we can have a competition at the beginning of next year.
Mm-hmm.
And invite people to like the end of year finals somewhere else next year, and then come up with a bigger plan for end of year finals, or restructure the tournaments, or restructure the calendar so the season ends at the end of summer, so we don't have to do like a December event. We can do a end of the summer holidays event. There's other things we can do, and I'm open to anything like this, especially and we got this new Fight Night Juggling Combat Instagram account that people can follow, with the idea being that I want the combat to be less tied to my identity, so the results don't always turn up on lukeburridge.com. They turn up at Fight Night or Juggling Combat or whatever it is.
And that also means that anybody can run this account
and other people can post highlights to it, and so so I would love to highlights to go there, other photos to go there. I've got loads of photography. I'd love to and other photography from past years.
Yes,
loads of stuff from Matza and other photographers, and you taking photos and other people taking photos. So it'd be good to just keep putting lots of clips there. And I'll repost the highlights and the matches that have previously been posted on my account.
Yes,
I want to do like every 3 days post a historic match on there, because I have loads of stuff edited, which are just hanging out in my Instagram account or whatever, and those can be uploaded. So that's the idea. And finally, for the last few minutes of the podcast, I just want to talk about the EJC.
EJC in Arnhem 2025.
Any thoughts? Anything that you want to lead off with? I don't have any complaints. Literally no complaints.
No,
except for the scheduling of the Diablo battle was a bit late.
Yes.
That's my main complaint, is that some of the scheduling wasn't 100% convenient for me.
Which doesn't diminish anything around the convention. I think it was great. I had a really great time. We didn't camp on site. That made my convention more enjoyable for me.
We were camping a 10-minute bike ride away from the EJC
and it was
hall.
A beautiful little campsite, and I was able to then be independent from you. I could go by bike, I could go by car.
Taking the bikes. Turns out taking the bikes to the Netherlands, really handy.
Really convenient. That is something that I have...
Perfect bike lanes on both sides of the road.
That is something that I have obviously heard people talk about. Yes, the site was very big, and yes, bikes came in really handy. On the other hand, the site was really big, which really made it very nice because it was a lot of people there. But it never felt crowded. The first day, the one gym became a bit crowded because people hadn't explored the other areas yet. But then in the middle of the week and stuff, people figured out where they felt more comfortable, and certain people were there, certain people were here, and then it became really nice. And then the weather turned good, and then people juggled outside. It was such a beautiful festival, and there was some food on site, which was okay. The only thing that was the supermarket
wasn't a supermarket
situation,
yes,
but otherwise it was good. And we really took it easy. Like there were no
So that's what I want to say.
responsibilities.
Yeah, so people ask me, like people send messages, are you going to do vlogging? Are you going to organize,
We've done so much
cup
in
of the
the
day?
past.
Are you going to do this? Are you going to do that? And this year, again, just to be like, we've been more open about this. We've been refocusing on Juliana's health and on not putting 100% of our holiday time and effort into juggling creative stuff.
Yeah.
And weirdly enough, it doesn't even feel like I'm putting any less effort. You know what I mean?
that's
Like I
true,
was saying,
yeah.
we're talking about this kind of stuff. It's like, oh yeah, I organize a whole new competition and put out loads of videos and loads of bits and pieces here as well. Podcasting, fight night organizing, all this other kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it doesn't, like, even in my head, I'm like, oh, I've taken a step back from this, but not having to do daily vlogs or, 8 videos from the EJC is a massive upgrade in terms of getting hours of our life back. And also we were in a tent, in a campsite.
Yeah.
If we were in a hotel, yes, I can get back. I can put the laptop, it's always on a table. I can get all the footage off my phone, off the cameras, put it all together, edit it together. And it's a fun project to have if you're in an Airbnb or in a hotel near the convention site. And we've done that, we did that last year in where was it? In Portugal. We've done it in Lublin.
Yes.
We've done it in loads of different places just to have proper internet access in the hotel or internet access somewhere. And we just didn't when we're looking at it, it's like, this is just unfeasible to do it when we're also cooking and camping and biking backwards and forwards to the site. And so, unfortunately, well, I say unfortunately for other people, we didn't feel that this was our job, because also there's a whole team of people called EJC TV. Yeah. Like the Dutch gang, they have video highlights, they have whole media teams, all that kind of stuff. And I always feel that like doing daily vlogs is like, that's for conventions which don't have a full-time EJC TV team who are live streaming whole events to other people and making recaps and photography and video and social media
stuff. There was enough
stuff.
Communication already happening that we didn't need to then do that job on top. And
on top of everything else. So we took it super easy. It was, we headed to the gym. We would do some juggling. We'd meet up with some people. We'd hang out with people. Then we'd pop back to the campsite and eat some dinner or go for somewhere for food, and then we'd head back over, do one event in the evening, maybe. Like we saw that one of the shows, we saw did the fight night, we did some other bits and pieces. We didn't bother with the gala show. No offense to the gala show this year, but we were just like, no.
Good. I heard good things.
Again, I only heard good things about
the stage looked like extremely good. Like
we never went this year. We didn't go to an open stage because there was just lines, and it's a big convention. So some things we did, some things we didn't, but we really just took it as easy as possible. We biked down into town, we saw a show, and we were like, games, then we're like, no, let's just head back. And like, we didn't, like, I wasn't like, no, I want to do the games because I want to get a video and I want to do a whole video highlights of the games and tell the story of the games and this person, which I really enjoy doing. But I've done that for like the last 8 EJCs. I've made videos of games, made videos of the fight night, made videos of the whatever other event, made daily vlogs, made other vlogs, highlights of gala shows, highlights of open stages, highlights of juggling in the gym, talking to people, interviewing people. And this time we're like, actually, nah, let's just take it easy. Like, we need to concentrate on our own energy levels. And and that's again also not going to the NJF this year. A BJC didn't happen, but that was one of the options. Not going to the NJF. So this was my first. I went a whole year without going to a juggling convention. So I was at the EJC last year, and then I went 12 months or however long it was until the EJC. That's the longest I've ever gone between conventions, between 2 conventions. But I think it's been a better year for concentrating on our own projects at home, our own energy levels, our own, time, our own holidays, and things like that. And
also, you have still ongoing the Flash 30 project.
I'm not doing any less juggling or any less video projects.
That is kind of focusing your personal juggling quite a bit in that direction. And just you've gone a bit more into the numbers juggling, and that is hard work for your body as well. So you did lots of juggling at the EJC as well. Concentrated. I was juggling every day, except for the fight night qualification day, where I think I just did fight night qualifications.
Or one of the day, either the fight night finals day or the fight night qualifications day. That was the only juggling that I did, I think.
Yeah, which is also good.
Yeah, it's all good. So yeah, that's all good. So yeah, and also in this case of not trying to always make time to go to juggling conventions has allowed me this year to again just work on my other projects. Like I wanted to be fit enough that if I go on a biking holiday, that I could bike for 4 or 5 days in a row without it destroying me. Because normally what we'd do is we'd go off in a convention or we'd go on holiday like we do, is we'd take a big bike ride and it would be a 5-hour bike ride and I'd get back and I'd be knackered. And then for the next 2 days, it's mostly, I've got to recover from this big bike ride that we did up a mountain in Slovenia and back down again and my bum hurts.
Yeah.
But this year, as part of also the Flash 30 project and other things, I wanted to get fitness-wise back in line with the idea being that I can go on big bike adventures, like 4-day bike adventures. Yeah. And I've been scheduling those or prioritizing those over trying to get to smaller juggling conventions. We will be at the Hamburg Juggling Convention later this year.
Yes.
So, well, I will definitely be there, but between the two of us, 1 or 2 of us will be there.
Yeah.
So we'll get that locked in. That'll be all fine. So yes, I will try and get another fight night in. Otherwise, I've got no chance of qualifying for the end of year finals.
Yeah, that's quite funny.
Which I've not qualified before, so it's like I'm not worried about it when I've taken part in EJC fight nights, but then not taken part. Like I've joined in with qualification, and then just not bothered with the rest of it. So
makes sense.
So I'm okay with that. But yes, just the decision to focus our energy. So yeah, EJC, the venue was one of the best EJC venues I've ever been to.
Yeah, it worked.
And the vibes was really good.
It worked in the rain, as it was. We started off with rain.
Yeah.
They prepared really well. They had mostly concrete paths, and the places where they didn't, they laid out literally tiles of plastic. So people
I kind of want all EJCs in the future to be held at a national Olympic training site.
So good. Oh,
everything was just set
the infrastructure there was so good.
Hotel on site. Yeah. Although we didn't use it, but it was handy.
Lots of people did use it in the end, and also what I really liked is that you had literally you had so many different varieties in juggling halls. You had one that was carpeted, you had one that was air conditioned, you had one that was a normal gym, you had another one that was a gym, and then you had lots of aerial options, and you had grass and
a running track.
Like the infrastructure there was just perfect.
It was like perfect for everything.
Yes.
And they're like, final qualifications happening in this hall, and you turn up and everybody is there. We can do a qualification for 120 people.
Nobody was that hugely bothered. Like they didn't have to like close off a whole section of a gym, and then people but I wanted to juggle.
And I actually really enjoyed that in the big gym as well, where we were hanging out. That's where the special events happened, where they're like, oh, and now this is where the numbers juggling league is like, oh great, our seats are just here anyway, so we can just come over there and watch that. And that was fun to watch, and other things that were happening in there. Yeah, it's sort of like, right, now that's the spot where we can.
It was very good.
The cool kids can hang out and things and do the big tricks.
Yeah.
Like there was the passing zone at one end and the numbers juggling zone at the other end.
Yeah.
So yeah, EJC, 2 thumbs up. So I think that's most of the things that I wanted to talk about on this podcast, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, Flash 30 is going well. I've got like a backlog of videos of bits and pieces to do that. I don't know, it's just difficult to get through it. And I'm already starting to do top 40 jugglers organization kind of stuff.
Yes.
Oh, and then so the reason why this podcast is not immediately after the EJC is Juliana tested positive for COVID.
A year later, after I had it last year.
Yeah.
Almost
Didn't you
exactly
have it like
on the
2
day.
years? It was a previous time. It was just the last 2 years.
No, not last 2 years.
Yeah.
Last year,
you got COVID.
in Over, at the end, I got in COVID, and I'm still carrying around a COVID test. So this time, when I felt it, and I now know how it feels like, I tested, and it was positive. So I didn't come to the convention the last day, and then we drove straight back home.
Yeah.
On the way home, our car broke down.
Yeah. Which is a good time. We have already signed the lease for the new car.
Yes.
And our old car broke down on its final trip. All it had to do was get us from the Netherlands back to Berlin. And it didn't quite do it. It did the next day because it's like we turned it off.
Miraculously worked again.
Yeah, turn it off and turn it back off and on again. The electrical problem solved itself. The fuse was had wiggled free, got back in.
No idea.
Either way, we also now have a new car.
Yes. And then you went straight to a gig.
Oh yeah, so I went off to this gig, and it was really interesting because I was asked, "Oh, we're going to do this. There's the dome on this ship. They had this big dome set up for this aerial circusy kind of show.
Yeah, like a glass.
This big glass dome on the top of a ship, and it looks fantastic. And I understand why the show was really good and popular, but also for the size of the show, like how many cast members in it, you've got to really pack in the audience to make that worth it. And it's just not a big enough venue to worth doing a show with, let's say, 12 people in the show.
Ooh, that's a lot.
I'm just saying, if you got 12 people in the show and you're only performing to 200 people at a time, on a ship which has 4,000 passengers on it, that is not efficient use of space.
Absolutely not.
So like, all right, so the cruise line was like, we're not going to do that anymore, but let's try out other acts in there. So they tried out some acrobats acts and some stand-up comedians in a dome where you can't hear anything because it's like the acoustics in there are the worst.
Yeah.
And there's air conditioning, which is like...
And the waterfall
and there's
behind
a waterfall,
the stage.
a feature in there as well. And they're like, let's test out the jugglers. So they've on the different ship. I think there's 2 different ships that they've had this. They've been testing out jugglers in the dome. And my first show, I arrived there on the day. It's like in a big greenhouse.
Yeah, and you performed on the day
on the day
you
that
arrived.
I arrived. So I couldn't do a lighting setup because it's a greenhouse. And my first show was at 8 p.m. The sun hasn't set. The sun sets at like 4 minutes past 8.
Yeah,
and then it got darker and darker. I just couldn't see what I was doing. Couldn't hear what I was doing. The audience wasn't set up right. The second show was a bit, and then in the end, I was asked, they were like, can you do something else? And I was like, look, I got my second show. Like, great, because the acrobat show that we have here, their show wouldn't work in there because they've got to do like change of costumes and quick changes. There's just no backstage area or anything there. So I did my second show there as well. And then really, unfortunately, there was a man overboard. A crew member went overboard. And so to turn the ship around to look for the crew member, unfortunately, was never found. But that put the schedule back. There was a cancellation of a port. An extra day, they're like, have you got anything? I was like, well, yeah, I mean, I could just do another show, but it's like the same stuff that I've already done. They're like, great, you're doing another show. And then so in the end, I was booked to do one show in the dome.
Yeah.
In the end, well, not one show. I was booked to do, like, have one show to perform in there that I could perform in there, which I'd perform on the first day of one cruise, and then 7 days later on the first day of the next cruise to a new set of audience. Yeah. And in the end, I did 8 shows in 4 nights. Yes. And that's a lot of work because I wasn't taking it easy. I was doing my full show. Yeah. And talking about my fitness goals for this year, to get myself in fitness, so like I say, can I do a 4-day bike trip, back-to-back days on my bike? Yeah. And the strength that you need to do that, and the cardio and fitness and leg fitness and all that kind of stuff. Can I get through 8 45-minute shows in 8 days? And on the last night, it was like doing the shows, a day off, shows, and then shows. You know, it's like
it was
really,
very intense.
It was really intense, but it was really good actually, and I could get through it. There was one time that I felt a bit of cramp in my right leg as I was trying to climb on top of a roller bowler. I was like, "Oh, I'm not doing that in the second show. I'll actually use the volunteers to climb up rather than me messing around." Yeah. I was performing on top of a swimming pool, which meant that the Diablo string got really moist and really like snagged up at the end, and I couldn't do it. I've never not got to the end of my Diablo routine and got the final trick and things. And it happened twice on the first 2 times I performed. And I was like, well, that's changing in my other shows. So that I'm learning from that too.
It was really fun because by now on the ships you have internet and stuff, so we could chat all the time. And it felt really like this. You took this as a challenge.
Oh, it was a challenge.
To get your show to fit the circumstances of this very challenging venue.
Say, my first show was awful. It's like literally the worst venue I've ever performed in, and my show just wasn't. I was really struggling with it.
You had
By
no
the last
preparation.
night, I was like, "This show's great. The dome works great." But also because I pretty much told I said to the entertainment directors there, I was like, "Look, this is what you need to do. You need to get the audience here. You need to set the chairs up in this way." And I kind of like you do at the start of a street show where you try and get as much of the audience up close as possible and packed in tight and stuff. So you had to really treat the first 2 minutes of the show like a street show, to tell people what's going on. Yeah. To tell people that, can you hear me? To really make it clear that I'm doing a show in a place, in a juggling show, which is not normally used, and all those lessons learned. And also it's changed, and I could test out my show. So I've never done, in my second show, I've never done roller bowler knife juggling in the middle of my show and then finish off with the club juggling. Yeah. I've finished my show with club juggling.
Yeah.
Now that I've put the 6 clubs back in there and the 5 club back crosses and the 6 clubs back in there.
Yeah.
So I'm not doing the club back crosses as part of the Sergei Ignatov tribute. I'm just putting it in the show. So yeah, there's that.
Yeah, and because you did have more than just the 2 shows or the two
So what
show
I'm saying-
days, you had the opportunity.
Yeah.
Because
but I
you
was
had-
doing the same show back to back in different orders, you know.
Yeah. But that gave you the luxury in this way to work on your show.
Yeah, and also I told the entertainment director, they said, "Oh, can you do anything else?" I was like, "Yeah, but it'll just be a mix of bits of the first show and bits of the second show." They're like, "Great," and I'm like, "Oh, cool! Now I can experiment with starting my show with the 3-ball and video routine rather than the Diablo routine." So I did 3-ball and videos, then the ball juggling, and then I literally turned my show inside out to see if it would work that way, and
really
it could work that way, but actually I do still enjoy it. So I just did the Diablo routine, but not with just without the finale trick. So, and I think that finale trick is now gone. Like coming back from COVID, having new eyes to cast on the show, like to see everything from scratch, to see everything fresh, is actually a really big thing. And performing this in this
really
venue
helpful.
and having the freedom to not be in the main theatre and to be on this side thing, which we're like the cruise ship is also testing out what it's like to have jugglers in there in the same way that the jugglers are now testing out what it's like to perform in there.
And
I feel like I'm a dome specialist now, and I'd be happy to be booked again.
It gave you the freedom to experiment and find the best thing. And in the end, you did find the best thing.
I found a very good thing.
Yeah.
However, I would definitely need to take a set of rings which aren't white because oh my goodness, trying to do some of those tricks with white rings against like a kind of sun setting, and the background
and it's
is
like
awful.
Windows with lots of...
I couldn't see anything at all.
Yeah.
So so definitely, I definitely have to do less ring juggling than I would normally like in a show like that.
Yeah, makes sense.
You're looking at the set of rings that we have here as well, the workshop rings and the other one. So either way, right, that's it. We talked about an hour. I think that's a good August update. I'll see if I can post it before the end of the month.
Which is today.
Which is in about 4.5 hours, but who knows? Let's see what we do this evening. Thanks so much, Juliana, for recording the podcast.
My pleasure.
I know that you've had a week back at work after recovering from COVID and all that other kind of stuff, and it's hard work. But I really do appreciate you doing the podcast with me and chatting about juggling events. And in this case, mostly just catching up with the people, catching up with the audience, catching up with the Patreon supporters. Yeah. Hopefully people enjoy this podcast / video or whatever it's going to be. So we covered Your Time to Shine, Finite Combat website rewriting, which still needs more work, and there will be new features, but that's hopefully going to be to the point where, again, it's not just a massive ball ache. EJC, Fight Night organizing, EJC talking, and then little update of work. And also... I turned around in the show. There's an open swimming pool behind. Yeah. And I do this stupid thing where I hit myself in the face with a tennis ball. Doesn't matter. The ball bounced backwards. And I'm like, oh no. And I spun around and I reached out to grab the ball and I punched a railing, this metal railing at the back of the stage. Yeah. And I really...
it went between 2 fingers.
Yeah, it went between 2 fingers and kind of like bent one of the fingers sideways and backwards. And this was the first show... No, it was in the second show of the night. And then after that, I did another 4 shows as my... But you just push through it. And I mean, it's not broken, but I obviously did some pretty bad damage to a tendon in there and whatever else stuff going in there.
I did tell him to go literally just show it a doctor.
If I went to the doctor, they would just be like, rest it. And I'll be like, I know.
They would have said, cool it or
but
whatever.
I have 3 weeks between that gig and my next gig. And so I went to do a juggling session. I just did a mostly right-handed juggling session.
And that worked.
And it worked fine. The only 2-handed juggling, I was trying to get this 10 rings in the low ceiling studio at Catapult. It just wasn't working. Couldn't get it. But I was like, oh, really shame. And then I went through into the big room with the high ceiling. Yeah. And I got the 10 rings on my first attempt. And I was like, oh, it was mostly just the low ceiling. Just didn't allow me to... Like, I've never flashed 10 rings in there without a holster, is what I'm going to say.
Makes sense.
So the extra height and speed that you need to do it without a holster... It
has a huge impact.
It does have a big impact.
Yeah.
So anyway, 6-in-1 hand was working well. And the 5-in-1 hand was working well. I did a little bit of 6 balls in one hand, but I just wasn't feeling the ball juggling.
Yeah. 12 balls was really
12 balls
hard.
will get there, but it's going to have to take, like I say, another 2 weeks off from left-handed juggling for the next 2 weeks. Yeah. And then hopefully my hand will be fully healed before my next gig.
Awesome. All right.
So I hope people are excited about the juggling projects coming up in September and October. And then it'll be time for December. It'll be like top 40 jugglers. We'll be round and fight night finals and stuff.
Yes.
The wheel continues. And
Same
I'm
as every
really
year.
excited. I'm really excited about every one of these projects.
Same procedure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really excited about the top 40 jugglers project that I'm working on.
Good.
Which
I'm
again
looking
will be
forward to it.
revealed in like November or whatever it is. But
Yes.
for now, we have what we have.
Awesome.
That's it. Thanks again to all our Patreon supporters, and thanks to everyone for listening. And we'll catch you next time.
Goodbye.